Well, howdy again. Really need to get a microphone on this phone. That'd make it a lot easier. So I don't have to talk so loud and I can just mumble. So, with all the inflation nowadays, we don't really have much in the way of wage growth to go along with it. I don't know if the rest of you notice that, but it depends, I suppose, on what kind of work you're doing. Whether you're a CEO, upper management, or if you're just one of the people out working on the floor. I can promise you, if you're upper management, then you're not paying your people enough and you're probably treating them like crap to begin with. What we need to do is focus on getting better wages for people in this country. We have, from back in the 90s up to now, inflation has gone up, but wages have not kept pace with inflation. For example, in 1998, I was working as a welder making $15 an hour. I lived in a small town, not small town, but about 36,000 people in Indiana. So it wasn't a big city. I made $15 an hour. I bought my first house when I was 25. I had a mortgage. It was $500 a month and $50,000 total for the house. It was a 3-bedroom house, 1.5 car garage, decent sized yard, front and back, eat-in kitchen, and like a little, I don't know, day room, basically. But it was a nice house. It was a decent house. I liked it. And I made pretty much weekly. I made enough in 1 week for the mortgage payment. Now, it's crazy. They don't want to pay. I see, on average, welding jobs here in Phoenix, in the metropolitan area, on average, are paying $20 to $22 an hour start. You might make more depending on what your job is. Certain jobs will pay more, but that's it. Like $20 to $22 an hour, and they expect you to be able to live on that when you're looking at a rent for just a basic studio apartment is going to cost you, let's say you find a cheap one for $1,000 a month. That's $1,000 for a studio apartment. If you wanted to buy a house, then you're looking at, if you can put a decent down payment, you're still looking at $1,800 to say $2,400 a month for a mortgage on a house. And it's ridiculous. You're not making that much. It's not the way it used to be. You might be able to make enough in a week to pay for the rent in your studio apartment, but not a mortgage. You'd have to have a very, very small place to do the mortgage thing. It hasn't. It just hasn't kept up. And you go to eat. Another fun example. I would pay $50 every 2.5 weeks, maybe 3 weeks at the grocery store, and I would have enough food to eat decent for that period of time. And I could got it from Northwest Indiana to visit family in Amarillo. It would cost $50 in gas. I had a little Ford Escort at the time, but still, it was like $50 in gas to drive 1,200 miles. It's not going to do that now. Gas is 3 times, some places 4 times what it was back then. Food's the same way. So with inflation at what it is, why aren't we demanding higher wages? Why aren't we putting our foot down and saying we need higher wages? You have companies right now that are producing record profits, billions and billions of dollars of profits that they didn't have previously, and they're producing these record profits now because they're charging so much for the product and they're not paying you and me anything more. So why do we sit back and allow this to happen? Why does the government sit back and allow this to happen? It doesn't matter what side you vote for, left or right. Neither side cares, as long as they're getting their money so they can get reelected in the next election. That's all they care about. In the meantime, we're going to sit here eating hand to mouth, living paycheck to paycheck, barely surviving, just so they can get richer and richer. And imagine if you had those same wages and you've got a family to take care of now. How's that look? Because now you've got to feed them. They stay in the same house that you do, but you're not going to be able to have that studio apartment. You're going to have something bigger. Your spouse is going to probably have to work. No stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home parent in any way. Your spouse probably going to have to work. And you're going to be gone all the time, working, making money to make the ends meet and pay the bills. When I was growing up, I think it was great that my mom, for the most part, was home. I think that was a huge benefit to have a stay-at-home mom. I think that hugely benefited the whole society as a whole in my generation to be able to have that. You did not see, granted, getting corporal punishment was also a thing that I believe was very beneficial for my generation. But you don't see, you didn't see my generation doing the things that younger people do now. We carried our guns to school with us and we didn't shoot up the schools. We all had our pocket knives with us. We didn't pull knives on each other in school. We just didn't do these things. And I think it was partially because we had a stay-at-home mom, and also because we quite frankly got our asses beat. If we screwed up, we'd go home, Dad would find out, the belt came out, and that was that. Young people nowadays are not taught consequences for their actions like that. They don't make that distinction, and they're doing stupider things. But that's also part of the government's fault. Because, with inflation and the way things have gone, wages have not gone up and kept up with inflation, but inflation has gone up, so both parents have to work. Sometimes they have to work overtime or 2 jobs. They can't be there. What are we doing? We're destroying our youth, destroying our society and what made us so great, just so a handful of people can get richer. And we're allowing it to happen. We're not doing anything about it. So I say we all need to just stand up. Pick a day that everybody, all of us blue collar workers, all of us just refuse to work. Take that day and every single one of us across the country refuse to work that day. See how much money that loses these companies. And then see how much they're willing. And if that doesn't work, then we just take another day. We take a couple of days. If we all do it, they can't fire us all. They're not going to be able to. Because then who makes their money for them? Nobody. So, it's a thought. Thought I'd throw it out there, just random. This was not a scheduled scheduled a video. I wasn't planning on this. It's just thoughts was going through my mind right now at this point in time, and I thought I would throw it out there. I'm looking for trying to find a decent job myself. I'm looking at different forms of passive income. Um, Maybe doing some day trading with my crypto, something like that. Different ways of making income, and of course, hopefully eventually getting these videos monetized and getting some kind of sponsors, maybe an affiliate, uh, get in the affiliate program with Amazon. I think those are a couple of decent paths to take to make some extra passive income. Anyhow, y'all think about it. Have a great day. I'll see you at the next video. Bye.